What's happening? My name is Blake Harris, and this is the Music City Mindset. The Music City Mindset is located on all platforms everywhere. You just got to find Nashville Fit Magazine. We are in the NFM network, and you can find us there on all platforms, especially YouTube. Go click on that. We're grateful to be a part of them because of opportunities like this. We have an incredible show for you today, and part of what is going to make that incredible is I'm not here alone. Co-owner of Spontaneous Beauty. He has had works of art featured all around the world. And as my beer pong partner, using Southern comfort instead of beer, we have taken over entire cities. My best friend of 3 decades, Evan Butler.
What's happening, man?
What's up? So Evan, I was on the news today. I don't know how that ends up happening to me.
Usually, well, never mind. Anyways,
but I saw him pull up and I was like, ooh, maybe they heard about me. Nashville Fit. No, they were actually there wanting to talk about gun violence because there was a shooting in North Nashville. No one here is surprised, right? And the person's going to be okay. I do know that. I can confirm that. Don't know if I'm allowed to say this here, but we got a couple weeks, right? But I kind of gave an interesting take, and I could tell by the look on his face, he was a black man with a microphone, and he didn't get the take out of me that he wanted. So I don't know what's going to air tonight or tomorrow, whenever they're going to put this on.
What'd you say?
My take was, because maybe I was a little triggered, but I feel like when the news shows up for a shooting in North Nashville, they're like drooling. They're like, oh, let's talk about another shooting in North Nashville. Yeah. My take was that North Nashville is actually getting safer. North Nashville is getting better. The problem is now, just like everything in the world, we have social media, we have the apps, you know about every single shooting. So I think the shooting as a total is getting less. We just know about a higher percentage of what shootings happen. And it seems like the media only wants to cover the negative parts of it to still paint North Nashville a certain kind of way.
I'm so glad you brought this up.
And, I was like, I kind of went at the news to the news. I was like, man, in the last month, we've had 2 new businesses open on Buchanan. Where have y'all been at? But then y'all show up for a shooting?
We've had our first TSU homecoming that no fatalities, no nothing.
I was there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We were both there.
Yeah. So I think things are getting better, but we know about more of it. But North Nashville's changing from when we were growing up. Now it's gentrifying. It's white people that are coming from Naperville and like suburbs of LA and like.
That's what I'm saying. So
now it's not black people calling in the shootings in North Nashville. It's the white people that are moving there that are calling in, and this their first experience being around anything like that. And I'm not saying it's okay because we're desensitized every time we hear a pew pew, but I do think overall it's a safer area. I think there is more things that the news could be focused on what is changing and what is growing in North Nashville. But that's the only thing people associate North Nashville for. But I can tell by the look on his face, that wasn't the take he was hoping to get.
Which is crazy to me. I grew up in East Nashville. I can't take my kids through East Nashville and show them the place I grew up in because it doesn't look the same. It's not the same. And my thing is things got so bad that everybody that lived there had to leave. Then they gentrify it. Now it's the nicest place. And now you got people saying the crime's going up in East Nashville. And it's like, what? Crime's always been in East Nashville.
Yeah.
But like.
Even the question, like he even gave a follow-up of like, but with the shooting that happened last night, are you concerned for the members of your gym? And I was like, no, we've never felt unsafe.
Right. Like, what was the shooting related to?
Right.
We don't know anything about it.
Somebody robbed somebody?
Right. We don't know anything about it. It was probably someone that didn't live in North Nashville. That's usually what ends up happening.
Well, and we know this from the upper Bordeaux.
Yeah.
That literally stuff happened in Bordeaux that got handled in Jolton. Yeah. Does that mean that the crime was in Jolton? No. But like necessarily where the shooting takes place it could have been an argument that happened in Antioch, but they just caught up with each other on Buchanan.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's always a twist. There's always two sides to the story.
But, like, I don't know, just the way he phrased the questions of, like, are you concerned? Or, like, do you think that, there's been an outcry for more police presence in North Nashville? Do you think that that would be a solution? I was like, maybe, but, like, let's be realistic. From Hope Gardens all the way up to Jolton is the North Precinct.
Right.
Where the biggest precinct with some of the roughest areas and the most understaffed. So when and where is that even realistic for me to place hope that would ever actually happen? I think more people being there, being able to, like, adjust the market where people can, like, afford these houses there, because there's new houses and old houses that are abandoned.
Right.
There's buildings that are decrepit. Like, let's get people being there, I think, would do more than police presence.
Yeah, I would say, like, excuse me, because I'm not from here originally, but why don't they talk about Germantown when they talk about North Nashville? They make Germantown sound perfect.
Yeah.
Even though it's steps away. So those.
Oh, and there's
Germantown
just
should be
as much,
concerned
if not more, because
Exactly.
for some of the robberies, they're going over to the nicer area, but they don't report that.
Right.
The news isn't going to go over there and talk about that.
It's that twist of, like,
That's a very good point.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's be real here. Like, this is an area of town that y'all never thought would be worth anything, and now it is. And so now you're wanting to spin it, change it, move things around. You know what I mean? And change is inevitable. Like, things are going to change. I'm not against, like, people moving here and this and that, but, like, there's some things that are sacred. You got people being run out of their house that have been there generations.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
But it's like, I mean, you could say the same thing about North Nashville that you could say about East Nashville or even West Nashville, like what Struggle said. It's like there's people that have been inspired and motivated their entire life to move out of that area because of what it used to be. Now they can't even afford to live there now because of what it is. And you want to talk like it hasn't changed and we still have the same problems?
Right. Well, and you're
Like,
2 miles,
Yeah.
maybe, from the precinct.
Oh, if that.
So
you
you're talking about a
cut through
bigger
those back
police-
roads less than that.
Talking about a bigger police presence.
And I think a lot of
What?
it also is people's perspective. Again, like you have an ecosystem in just the Buchanan area where you've got people of like so diverse now because of the gentrification, but that means the perspective of what people have been exposed to, the perspective of what was your exposure to anything gang related, violent crimes, anything like that. What was that growing up? Which kind of leads me to this of like, what was your exposure growing up? Because you came from Brooklyn, am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Born and raised in Brooklyn. My exposure to, like, crime.
Yeah. Like, what was your neighborhood like growing up?
So my neighborhood, I would say, felt safe to me. But I think everybody's neighborhood in New York feels safe to them. But then when you go into the other neighborhoods, that's when you start where you stop being as safe. Because
If
everybody
I-
knows you in that neighborhood.
If I, looking how I look, went into your neighborhood of what it looked like when you grow up, would I feel safe?
I mean, maybe.
Depends on why
the
you
thing
were
about it is,
What are you doing there?
Yeah, it's like it's not even about you being white or black or whatever. It's more about you being recognizable or being an outsider that nobody recognizes you. So when you're walking up and down the street, why are you here? And I think that a big part of that too is like what time of day.
Mm-hmm.
Like in broad daylight, sure, you're probably just going about your business, doing whatever. But at certain hours where you have the people that might cause problems, then you might be a little bit more in danger.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, like in my actual, like the direct area that I lived, it was pretty chill. But then it would be the more concentrated areas, like if I went closer to the train station. So I had to take a bus to a train. But at that train station area, that would be more dangerous because there was just a higher concentration of people.
Mm-hmm.
So the gangbangers, they might hang over there because there are more opportunities really for them to do their gangbanging.
Gotcha. And I definitely want to talk about public transit, but before we get there,
Hold on. I seen the smile on his face when he said Brooklyn. So, like, tell me more. Like, I don't want to just hear about the danger. Tell me what you loved about growing up.
Oh, Brooklyn was great. Like, honestly, I miss it, but I really enjoyed my time in the South, which is why I'm still here. But the diversity, just the walkability of the city was really cool, where there's blocks, there's sidewalks, there's shops, there's things to see along the way. So walking is actually pretty cool, but we just don't have that experience down here.
Yeah. So I was going to bring that up. Main thing I hear about from my friends from New York is that, like, everybody here has a car.
Yeah.
Like, we got 14. When we were growing up, you're 14. If you could buy a car for a couple $100 and drive it around and nobody stopped you, everybody had a car, no matter what. And he's like, nobody in New York hardly has a car at all. We don't need them.
Yeah. I mean, well, my family always had cars. So, like, my mom and dad always had cars. So it was an option. But for the most part, like, going to school and work, you don't need a car, and sometimes it can actually be a hindrance. So most recently, I just went to New York. It's a wild
concept for me to wrap my head around.
It's crazy, but I just went back for the U.S. Open.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so while I was there, I rented a car. That was like the biggest mistake. So I spent,
where do you
too much money to rent this car for about a month, and then I had to pay for parking, which was difficult to find, so it adds time to your commute. It's not like you just pull up and park. And then the traffic laws are all different, and if you're not accustomed to it, it'll just really throw you off. So, like, as soon as I got the car, I got a ticket. And I'm serious. Like, I ran a red light because when the lights change there, it's not like here where it's yellow and it kind of gives you a little bit of grace to get through. When the lights change in New York, it's yellow, then it's red. So yellow means stop. Like, don't keep going.
No, down here, yellow means speed up.
Right. It's exactly like get through. But there, the light's going to change regardless of whether or not you're coming through or not. And there's cameras. So that's how I knew I got a ticket. It wasn't I got pulled over. It was I saw the flash right away. I'm like, damn. That's like whatever that's going to cost, $152, $200 or whatever. And then
I got a ticket the other day.
Parking tickets, you go wherever you're going, and then, you don't pay attention to what's going on the street, and you overstayed your time on your meter or whatever, then you just get hit with another $200, another $100, and then it just adds up so much when I could have just taken a train.
Yeah. Well, and I think, part of the reason why you're here is your perspective of kind of growing up in the big city in New York and Brooklyn, then your time in, like, the deep South before, like, really coming here, which is kind of we're definitely Southern. Yeah. But, like, Nashville is definitely a unique kind of blend, especially with how many people are coming here. For those of you who don't know, if you're watching along and you don't know who this man is, first off, I feel bad for you.
Yeah, where y'all been?
Yeah.
Hey, y'all.
One of Brooklyn's own. Huntsville's Bartender of the Year in 2014.
Yeah.
He's opened up concepts here alongside chefs. Oh, yeah. Like Sean Brock. He's currently the treasurer of the USBG in the Nashville chapter, used to be the president. He conducts his own events and tastings with Diesel Drinks on Instagram, the creative director at Anzi Blue, a brand steward and corporate mixologist for Uncle Nearest Whiskey, beverage director for Humble Baron, which is in the Guinness World Book of Records for the longest bar in the world at 518 feet. Welcome to the show, the one, the only Akinde.
Thank you.
Get y'all some of that.
I've never been introduced like that before in my life.
I know. It's good for the soul. I swear.
It is.
Remember what you did. There's a reason why you're here. And your experience here. Obviously, our connection and friendship, has a lot to do with that. But your resume is why you're actually sitting on the couch. I have my first question. Because, ever since I've known who you were, it's been cocktails, whiskey, things like that. I was doing a little bit of research to try to find the things I didn't know.
Okay.
And I read an article, and the first thing that jumped out, it made me laugh. You gave credit to falling in love with mixology while serving at Red Lobster.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mixology and Red Lobster in the same sentence. That sounds like an oxymoron. Can you go into a little bit more detail? I don't know how the person interviewing you didn't want to ask a follow-up on Red Lobster, but
so Red Lobster was my first hospitality job, my first service industry job. And well, that's not even true. I'll go back. I worked at KFC. But at Red Lobster, I was a server. It was my first time doing anything like that, and my personality really wasn't to be outgoing towards strangers. So
is that the New York in you, the Brooklyn?
I don't know. I think I was just like introvert. I'm introverted.
No,
I still am.
Was this Red Lobster already down in Huntsville? You already down?
No, this is Red Lobster in Brooklyn. So after my first year of college, I went to Oakwood University in Huntsville. After my first year, I went back home, and I was just trying to find a summer job. And so this Red Lobster was just opening up. And to me at that time, it was like fancy restaurant nearby a job. And, so I went and applied. I didn't think too much of it. But I went there. I got the job as a server, no experience. And then I started working. And then every time I got sat with the table, I kind of didn't want to go over there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn,
what do you want?
Exactly. Like, I just wasn't the type of person that felt comfortable talking to strangers like that.
What were the tips like in New York back then?
The tips were good. I mean, for me as a kid, I was 18 years old. I was going home with, say, $150 a night.
I ain't trying to date you, but what years we talking?
2003.
Not trying to age you. Okay.
Yeah,
I was like,
well,
it is 2025 if you don't want to go on a date.
You want to go on a date? Nah, so 22 years ago, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But yeah, at that time, $150 a night was great.
Mm-hmm.
I had no bills. It was just pretty much all spending money.
Balling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going from Red Lobster.
We didn't hit the mixology
part. Yeah, where did that come in?
Basically, I was there working. I just took an interest in everything in the restaurant. So I took an interest to the food. I took an interest to the drink. And the thing about the drink part is that it's more visible from in the restaurant. So like while you're serving tables, you can see what's going on at the bar. Can't quite see what's going on in the kitchen the same way.
Right.
And so I just saw like their movements. I saw that there was a cadence to it. And so I started kind of learning how to bartend just from watching them from that moment. And it just developed from there. I worked at that Red Lobster. Then I went down to Huntsville, back to school, started working at that Red Lobster as well. It was very different. The one in New York was very nice, prim and proper. The one in Huntsville had a smoking section. And so
there's one in Rivergate that sounds similar.
Yeah. But it just went from there to, eventually getting into craft cocktail bars. But the whole time just watching what the bartenders were doing and then kind of researching things on my own online just to get a better understanding and kind of just learn recipes and things on my own. So when I first had a chance, I just kind of hopped into it.
On Instagram, Ken Diesel. What came first? You as Diesel or the drink Diesel Fuel that you made up?
So me as Diesel came first. That was actually at Red Lobster in Brooklyn. So I worked with a friend. His name was Mike. And wherever you work, you always kind of find your people.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was him and a girl named Leisha, and we all used to just team up and kind of hang out, share our stories after work, about how our night went. We would go to the Arch Diner that's on Ralph Avenue in Canarsie and just talk, and he nicknamed me Ken Diesel.
Okay.
Man. And it stuck.
It
stuck, yeah. So at what point did you come up with the actual cocktail Diesel Fuel?
So the Diesel Fuel, I was working at a bar in Huntsville, Alabama called Amendment 21. The 21st Amendment abolished prohibition. And that was the first cocktail bar in Alabama, period.
Oh, wow.
Opened by a good friend, John Howard, and along with some other folks. But at that point, I had gotten there. I had finally got a couple chances bartending. And when I started working there, I realized how little I knew. Because I had one of the OGs, his name was Vince. He came in one day and basically just critiqued everything I was doing. But the thing about it was...
In like an asshole way?
I don't think in an asshole kind of way. It was more like, it was an OG just like checking the young boy.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I mean, you
why are you spilling?
You probably do it now.
He asked me about, I do, but these days it's a little bit different. Because people are a little bit more sensitive.
Yeah.
And it's harder to be as tough.
Yeah.
But he came in and he questioned me. He was like, he questioned the way I was pouring things because I was being a little bit sloppy, spilling things. He questioned me about some of the beer that we carried. And that was the part that really stood out because I didn't have the answers to the question. It was, we served craft beer like before craft beer was available to everybody. And when he asked me about the beers, I had no real response. Like I knew what the name of it was, but I didn't know how to talk to it. And he basically called me out and was like, what are you doing here if you don't know what you're serving? And so at that point, I took that personal.
Yeah.
And I made sure that every night after work, I was going home, I'm looking up the things that we have at least on our shelf. So anything on our shelf, I was looking up what it was, what it tastes like, how it was used by other people in cocktails. And then for the beer and wine and things like that, I just wanted to know where is it from, what is it like, so I could speak to it knowledgeably in that type of establishment.
Yeah. I mean, now looking back and knowing what I know about serving from my jobs and Christina and things like that, education is such a big part of it. Like when I was at a nutrition store, I managed a nutrition store. Our philosophy there was to educate the consumer and let the consumer make an educated decision. And I feel like that's not too different from serving when you're in a craft world, craft beer, craft cocktail. You might give them more information than what they can truly comprehend, but allowing someone coming in, a patron, to make their own decision based off your education really like empowers people.
Yeah, so that brings it back to the diesel fuel, which at that time, a lot of the cocktails were just like fruit-based, sweeter things that, you know, were just easy drinking, and people loved those. But there wasn't the balance of the other side of that, which is like the spirit forward, brown spirits, bitter, maybe a little sweet, but like not pina colada.
Yeah.
We're talking about more on the old-fashioned side. And so the diesel fuel was an old-fashioned, but with some peaty scotch and some burnt brown sugar. So it had a lot of depth to it that really wasn't coming in
so
a lot
that
of
adds
the
some
cocktails
smokiness
of that time.
And adds even more sweetness to it.
It added like a slight bit of sweetness, enough to balance it. But then it had like a rich backbone of whiskey, of bourbon whiskey, and also Isla Scotch whiskey, which is a peated version, which tastes smoky.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring people the other side of cocktails that they weren't getting yet. Because, like I said, we were the first craft cocktail bar in Alabama. So we kind of were like teaching people how to drink.
I was going to say, was Alabama ready for a craft cocktail bar at the point?
They were. They really were. So it was a combination of things that were kind of exploding. So it was like people that had money that wanted to have a more upscale experience when they went out at night. There were people that were exploring spirits more. Whiskey was really growing. And one of the other things we did, we became one of the best bourbon bars in America. I think it was called like Great Bourbon Bars. It was through some kind of organization or whatever. But I built this list of, I don't know the number, but it was a massive whiskey list. And people just weren't used to that. They were used to normal dive bars, nightclubs, where they just went to get drunk.
Right.
And so we provided this space where it was more elevated. People would get dressed up to go out. And like, truly, I didn't even understand it at the beginning because I was still a kid myself. But then I started to get into it and I realized, all right, there's something more to the whole nightlife than just going out and getting drunk. It's more of an appreciation of quality and craftsmanship for, these different
I think we've skipped over something that I really want to hone in on.
Okay.
This is the Music City mindset. It seems like if we're just obviously grazing over your story, somehow very quickly you went from maybe not caring enough to be as knowledgeable about the products that you serve to this passion of wanting to expose people to the quality of like true spirits. At what point, if you look back on your own journey, did you feel like a mindset shift? Was it Vince calling you out?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, first and foremost. But this is like super relevant right now because my friend Chris Mallon, he just wrote a post about hospitality being dead. And one of the main thing that relates to this is that we don't have the leaders that we used to have. We don't have the mentors. And so for me, Vince was that. He gave me that moment of, all right, you need to pay more attention to this that I didn't know. It wasn't that I didn't care. It was that I didn't know I needed to care. And so until he called me out, I didn't realize that I needed to go home and study art, beer, and wine. But then, regardless of how he delivered it, he got the message across, which was like, you do need to take this a little bit more seriously. And so at that point, that would be the moment where it shifted for me.
In that shift on that kind of conversation here in Nashville, when it comes into bartenders and that world, I've met, partly through you, met some of the best mixologists in this city. But if you look at the hierarchy of who gets treated like in the bartender world, bartender versus mixologist, I'm separating those two. The Broadway bartenders get treated like they're on the top of the pedestal because they make so much money.
Right.
But the real bartenders, the mixologists, in Nashville, I'm guessing don't make the same money because it's not on Broadway and things like that. And it might be similar, but it seems like there was a shift in like what you're talking about, probably where the OGs of the service industry are. And I'm guessing, do you feel like a disconnect between bartenders on Broadway versus like the speakeasies and the bourbon bars and things like that?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a disconnect. Like even just like clicks. I mean, obviously, whenever you.
But that turn and burn mentality.
Well, yeah. Broadway will burn you out. Broadway will make you not want to serve anymore at all. If you give your soul to it.
I never worked on Broadway, so my closest experience to that would be Printer's Alley, which
Skulls.
I think, Skulls Rainbow Room. Damn. I love Skulls.
I mean, but I gotta give you credit where credit's due because that's also the point of the show. But yeah, rest in peace, Skulls.
Daddy Skulls.
Right.
But you're the one who actually made me fall in love with an espresso martini.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's crazy because we didn't even have espresso, but we did have coffee.
Yeah.
We had coffee beans, and that was just like, so for me, that means a lot because that took creativity on my end to deliver the type of flavor that you would want from an espresso martini without quite having the exact ingredients. And
because I don't really be loving coffee or vodka.
Because you could easily go somewhere and they say, we don't have espresso, we can't make espresso martinis. And a lot of people do that. But I've always loved the idea of going above and beyond to take care of people and give them what they want if I can. You know, if I have any ability to get you somewhere close to what you want, then I'm going to.
So wait, hold on.
I'm going to do it.
So this is also a very like current common theme that I'm dealing with. Was that even on y'all's menu?
No, we didn't have espresso martinis.
Because Christina would bring me there specifically to get espresso martinis from you.
Yeah, I remember. Our thing was
so
Irish
I didn't know.
coffees.
So I want to apologize. I see. This is one of those situations where someone's hooking me up.
But I enjoyed that. And the thing is, like, everybody.
But I didn't realize you were hooking me up.
Yeah, you don't have to know. To me, that's not my job. Is to tell you that I'm doing something special for you. It's just to do it and, you know, make you be at ease and enjoy yourself.
You get so used to the mundane that, like, I imagine that you're like,
ooh, something
anything
different.
pushing me creatively is exciting to me.
Exactly. So we were kind of talking about the volume on Broadway and cocktail bars. So the thing about Skulls was like a great, perfect hybrid of both of those things because we would be slam busy, but we're making craft cocktails. So I give credit to that job for like really upping my level overall because I took something that, you know, I'll be handcrafting you a cocktail that takes me 5 minutes, you know, my head down, not, you know, just focused on making something beautiful for you. And then what Skulls did was like, all right, you got to do this at high volume. And it just accelerated all of that. Where is that going? What was the question?
Just the volume.
You creativity.
Volume versus because
so that just like put it all together, you know.
Because my question for you about creativity before we go to a break is, to me, now this is like wanting to know where that creativity comes from, but also like to me in my exposure to being able to construct a craft cocktail by myself, not very good. But there's only so many ingredients.
Right. So this is great.
So like, how do you take the same ingredients that everyone else is exposed to and create something with such creativity and such beauty with how it's presented? Like, is that like learned by yourself?
Like want to. Yeah. So like when you were, it all goes back to the same thing of craft cocktail bartending versus high speed, you know, volume bartending. Basically, I was blessed by having that time where I was in the small cocktail bar, being creative, having 5 minutes, 10 minutes to make somebody a drink. Now, I have that passion and I like making people stuff. I think that really comes from cooking, but in the restaurant and Skull setting, we come in every day, we make our syrups, the basic stuff that we're supposed to have for our menu. But then I go in the walk-in cooler and I look around and I'm like, what we got back here? And so I look through all the ingredients and the kitchen was always gracious, generous with what they had. What they had was what I had. And so I'll just pick through and be like, all right, I might have somebody that wants something with cucumber. I'm going to grab some of this cilantro, even though we don't have anything with cilantro on our
Is
menu.
that random, or is there like
it's not random
templates in your head of like, okay, here's different bitter things, here's different sweet things? Like,
it almost seems like Top Chef. You're like, with
what
like we
Chopped.
have to
like,
offer, what
do I have to work with?
Of these?
Yeah,
how can
and
I twist
the
it?
thing about it was that I knew how busy we were. So some of it would be from experience, like, all right, somebody's going to come in tonight that wants a spicy margarita. Or potentially somebody's going to come in and want a spicy margarita. So in case that person comes in, I got a few peppers. Because I had that night when I needed those peppers and I didn't have them, and then I had to leave the bar and go get it. And so to set myself up better in the future, I made sure I always had them peppers.
See, now you're speaking my language from like an athlete's perspective of also what you're doing is just being prepared.
Exactly.
So because you couldn't do that in the moment with high volume like Skulls is.
Right.
So the work is really done in the practice. The work is done in the watching film. The work is done in the preparation to make your job in the performance on the field a little easier on you.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
You said something in the beginning about your first job at Red Lobster, and I want to make a note on that. Like, the smartest people I've known in my lifetime, and I've been around, luckily, been around some very smart people, have been I could watch you do it, and I can do it. Like, I can learn from watching you. Mm-hmm. And then that same person might go like, well, how'd you learn to do that? But it also says you're a student silently. Nobody knows. They might not even know you're watching.
They didn't know.
Right.
They really didn't. But, like, the place that I feel like I really started getting it was called the Scene Lounge. It was a movie theater / lounge area. It was like the first of its kind where you can get sushi and you can go into the movie with it and you can get cocktails. And it was
that sounds
mojitos.
Awesome.
It was so good. Dude, I was like,
sounds so awesome.
I want to work here. And I came in, and the thing is, so they would make a lot of martinis. At the time, it was like appletini, pomegranate martini, not like real martinis.
Yeah.
But that was what the drinks were at the time. But then it was mojitos and margaritas, and then I could just see the timing of it. So I literally learned how to make the drinks from watching them, and I would be like, okay, 4 seconds of this, 2 seconds of that, half a second of it, and then I just put it all together. But it was just fun to just see the dance and the rhythm of it.
A lot of people miss that whole thing. Like, I love watching a good bartender because they'll pour drinks without even looking. They're counting in their head. They're looking away. And the customer getting the drink has no clue. Sometimes probably even think they're making it wrong. And it's the perfect drink,
They do. There's no liquor in this. I'm like, it's actually all liquor.
Last question before we take a break. What's watching people? What's something that you learned, even if it's something small, from someone else, Vince or whoever else you worked with, that changed your whole perspective, or something that you still utilize today?
That's good. Who am I going to give this one to?
We're going to have to find Vince.
Yeah. Shout out Vince.
Nah, Vince is the man. Vince is in Atlanta. Shout out Vince. But I really want to give somebody this, but I really learned a lot of it on my own. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my first bartending shift. My first bartending shift was at that same lounge. It was a Sunday morning, and nobody showed up to work the bar. There was no bartender. I was there as a server. And basically I told the manager, let me cover it. I can cover it. And they're like, no, you can't. And I'm like, yeah, I can. And they're like, no, you can't. I was like, I think I can. And nobody else is here. So
you don't really have a choice.
Yeah, you don't really have a choice. Obviously, I'm not going to be perfect at it, but I think I can make all the drinks. I had one of the bartenders that worked in the daytime, and she kind of was just very chill and would let me make drinks sometimes. And so I did have some practice behind there, and this was like the day. It was the time to step up. And, they let me work. But then when the night guys came in, they tore my ass. Like, everything that I had done wrong behind the bar that day, they didn't care that I never worked a bar. They didn't care that there was no directions for how I should have prepped for them. They were just basically getting on me that I didn't prep enough things and the bar wasn't clean enough. And I think what both of those things stuck with me to this day. But number one, cleanliness. That's the most important thing in a bar. The bar top where the guest sits down, that's their first interaction with you. So if they sit down and they put their hand in a puddle, or they grab a menu, everything is sticky, you're already behind. Like, you're not.
You got to dig yourself out at that point.
You're behind, and it really taught me that I need to make sure this place is clean. I need to make sure that everything is prepared so that when it's showtime, I'm just executing
the details.
And so when somebody gets up from my bar, I'm immediately running over there with a towel. I don't want anybody else to have to deal with who was sitting there before. And Skulls also helped me with that, because my initial bar manager basically said I talk too much and I'm slow. And so I was like, I got to break that.
Yeah.
And so everything I did, I wanted to do a little bit faster, and I wanted to prove myself and say, like, I'm staying here, and you're not going to kick me out of here because I'm not good enough. And so if I need to get faster, I'm going to get faster. If I need to talk less, I'm going to talk less, or I might be working and talking.
Well, I think if anyone's, I don't know how many podcasts you've done, if no one's ever given you your flowers going through your story, to listen to you just in this first segment talk about evolving from someone who didn't want to go address a table when they first sat down because you didn't really want to talk to people, to you being told you talk too much, to now knowing who you become, which we'll talk about on the other side of the break.
Do you wear any kind of Fitbit or anything that counts your steps?
Nah.
Because
you've evolved.
I said to him just the other night, I was like, the man ran all night. He moved all night.
Oh,
there wasn't a person
at
you
Anzi
didn't talk
Blue
to.
or at Big X.
Yeah,
you were moving, but you proved. Hopefully, you've proved to yourself that you can evolve and step up in those situations, and that's really inspiring. And that's what we like to hear from anyone sitting on the couch.
Thank you.
We are going to take a quick break. We're going to hear a word from our sponsors. I want you to, don't forget, get your tickets to the Southern Champions Cup, December 13th.
Yeah.
Music City Mindset. We will be there with our friends at the East Nashville Yacht Club. Get your tickets now. I believe the link is in our bio by the time this comes out and you're hearing this. It will be. Go get your tickets now. We'll be right back.
We're back.
And we are back.
Hey.
We are here with my buddy Akinde.
What up, though?
Yeah.
Akinde, well, first of all, I really need to ask before we really get like into some shit. We can cuss here. I don't know why I'm acting like that. How did you end up in Nashville?
Great question. Again, it was 2016. I was working at a whiskey bar. I had opened up a whiskey bar in Huntsville at a beer bar called the Nook. So essentially, this bar sold the most beer I've ever seen, over 500 varieties. And then they decided that they wanted to add a bourbon room to it. So they reached out to me, and I said, yeah, I'll do it. The one thing for them was that they didn't want any cocktails. They just wanted neat and rocks pours. And so I said, well, I'm not the right person. So essentially we talked it through and we had cocktails.
Okay.
Because that was like the height of my creative, like just ambition, that's what I wanted to do. So we opened this room. I had a friend that came to town that was visiting, and he said, you should come work with me in Martha's Vineyard. And he was like, yeah, your time here is done. You've done everything you need to do here, and you're ready to move on. And I'd never thought of anything like that. And, it wasn't something that was easy, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go do it. So I went to Martha's Vineyard, May 1st of 2016. Damn. And I stayed there until about June 1st. And I got a phone call that was basically saying that my mom has cancer. And so my first instinct was just like, I should go there. But also I had just made a decision to do something cool that I've been sitting in Huntsville for 14 years. And then I decided to go somewhere. And 1 month in, I might have to leave.
Damn.
So basically I was gauging how bad it was. And I found out that at that moment, it was like, it's being treated and we'll keep you updated. But time went on, and my mom was kind of going down, and so July, yeah. So July 26th, 2016, I took a plane to Nashville to come be with my mom because man, honestly, you said 2 episodes, we got enough.
Yeah.
But I hadn't had a good relationship with my mom to that point because my whole life was kind of like divergent from the Seventh-day Adventist way that I was raised.
Oh wow!
And so I hadn't been home a lot. I went to Alabama for school, but then I kind of stopped coming home for the summer, and I was kind of just by myself in Alabama, living an independent life without really that much interaction. So after a lot of years of not really being around, I then moved to Nashville, and I was with my mom every day. So I would take her to the hospital, for her treatments, and go eat and, go for a walk, do whatever. Honestly, that was that's the best decision I ever made in my life, was to come here and spend that time with my mom. So I got here in July 2016, February 2017, my mom was cancer-free. She went back to Georgia, which is where she was living. She was only here because I have a sister here that's a doctor. She's an OBGYN. Shout out to Maris.
Yeah.
And so my mom came here to get like that, the inside treatment.
Yeah.
And it worked. She went back to Georgia, and things progressed. We didn't know exactly what was going on, but essentially my mom passed that next year, 2019. But that's what brought me here. And
what kind of cancer?
Ovarian.
Oh man.
So it was a blessing. I mean, at the end of the day, that she was here in Nashville, because I was kind of trying to figure out where I was going to go next anyway.
Man, fuck cancer.
Fuck cancer.
For real, fuck cancer.
But yeah, I had been in that position of being in Huntsville, kind of like capping out, not really knowing what to do next there. And then my friend taking me to Martha's Vineyard, which was going to be a seasonal job anyway. And then after that, I was going to have to figure out where I was going to go. So I ended up here, which is one of the places that was on the list. And I've loved it ever since.
It was a good time to show up in Nashville.
Not
the cancer and the reason, but as far as the city, really, that boom had been going, but it really started snowballing right about then.
Yeah.
I'm glad I came here then. Only thing I wish is that I bought a house.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
For sure. Well, I mean, first off, sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
The relationship I have with my mom now, it's gone up and down. I mean, I almost got emotional you talking to you and just like letting my brain go there. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
For sure.
In general, in regards to talking, cancer, not even talking about that yet. You mentioned Seventh-day Adventists.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in our world, in our city, like mixologist, what you do, the way you do it is definitely like looked up on, well respected, at least in my opinion. But even at that level, with the quality of you were doing things, was that still against that lifestyle of how you were raised?
Yeah, it was against it on multiple levels. So, taking the Seventh-day Adventism away, both of my parents were nurses, and like my dad was always very about education. Both of my parents are about education. Mm-hmm. They were still trying to like get more educated, even as they were established nurses. Mm. So for me, initially, I wanted to go to med school and be a doctor. So just being in a position of service.
Dr. Akinde.
You know what? My brother told me, he said, you can be a doctor at anything you do. And that changed the way I thought.
Wow.
But to go back.
That's it right there.
Alcohol is not a thing for a Seventh-day Adventist. So once I was working in alcohol, it was always going to be a conflict.
I mean, I had buddies I played basketball with that were Seventh-day Adventists, and like, I think it was a Friday night game.
They couldn't play,
and like most games are Friday night.
Exactly. So I was on the football team. Same thing. Damn. I was really on the working out team because all the games was on Friday. I'm talking about
scholarship athletes. Like, these were great athletes.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Bring it back to spirits, though.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, your deep passion for, like, the exposure of, like, quality spirits. And, like, exposing that to people and teaching people. With everything of how you were raised, but also how you are now. And this is what I was going back to, like, with the cancer situation and things like that. Do you feel like alcohol has done more good in our society or bad?
Bad. That's easy, honestly.
Damn, Blake.
Yeah.
I mean, that's easy.
Yeah.
The thing is,
but I mean, it has done
good in moderation. It's good.
But I even mean, like, from the broader spectrum of, like, your career, of what that's allowed you to do, the experiences
we can
you
cut
have.
This out, huh?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like, dang, man.
Yeah. Like, alcohol's bad, man. I'm honest,
your whole business is bad, is what you just said. No. People do bad things with it.
Let's say. Yeah.
But yeah, I was actually going to say it's done a lot of good, even going back into, like, the prohibition and the rights and the laws that had to be established after that to, like, and it's like fight for our, like, real, like, our freedom amongst how we want to live our lives.
Yeah. Let me re-answer. Because sometimes that can be, like, super literal and, like, you know, dark.
I mean,
alcohol it brings people together.
Yes.
That's one of the things that I would say, like, that's the biggest thing. It really brings people together.
100%.
In ways that, I don't know. I don't know anything else that does it quite the same, because not only does it bring people together, but then it also kind of lowers people's inhibitions, which makes their interactions a little bit better, or at times, you know.
I mean, for sure. We got the holidays right around the corner. By the time this airs, we'll have had Thanksgiving, be it Christmas. And I mean, we grew up in those families where some people come to see you and argue. And, you know, and it's like, if you got angry Aunt Betty, give her a little Uncle Nearest. But she ain't so angry.
Where's that line of, like, so knowing how you feel now, where is that fine line of, or is it a fine line of doing something that you're passionate and creative about that isn't a good thing? One of my favorite things that Pat McAfee's ever said is like being a part of teams, which is like a team. If you play football, like everyone, different background for the same good. It's its own little ecosystem, that locker room, and you can bond a whole lot closer over keg than you can kale.
Right.
And so the things that can come from that, but like, was there ever a moral dilemma inside of you doing this, as passionate as you are for what you do?
I wouldn't say that there is a moral dilemma, because I don't think there's anything wrong with alcohol. Like, honestly, being raised in the Seventh-day Adventist church and believing in God and the Bible, I like to take the Bible in its totality. So a lot of times with religion, they pick and choose which parts of it that they want to emphasize.
Wow.
And so, like, for example, I got my ears pierced in college, and then my family wasn't very happy about it. But then I was like, what about this scripture that says, as beautiful as an earring of gold? So, wait, what? And then, wait a minute, why did Jesus turn water to wine? Was it non-alcoholic wine? Was it unfermented wine? Because then I don't think they would have said that. So there was a purpose. I think, I don't think that there's a moral problem with alcohol at all. I think the thing that can become an issue is imbalance, or, like, you know, lack of temperance, over drinking, to simplify that.
I know with my experiences being on Broadway and things like that, you've been around alcohol
yeah, our industry
lot,
is full of it, and
a lot
I
longer
think it's
than me.
something that really should be addressed and that people should be aware of, because sometimes, I don't know, you just need to look after your people, because it's very easy to fall into addiction, and alcohol has caused a lot of problems for a lot of people. It's an addictive thing. So if it's not held under check, it can be a time drain. Not just the time you spend drinking, but the time you spend recovering from drinking.
Yeah.
It ruins relationships if not handled in moderation. And when you're in proximity to it all the time, it just makes it a lot easier for you to be tempted by it. So I've worked for years where I was a drinking bartender. And when I say that, I mean, like, while I'm working, I'm drinking. And customers like to drink with you.
Yeah.
Your coworkers like to drink with you. And then on your day off, you go drinking. And before you know it, it's like, wait a minute, I've consumed way more alcohol than I should have ever consumed. Because I do it at work, I do it when I'm off work. And that's not healthy. So I think that really our industry needs to keep that in focus at all times, like, to protect the people that are on those front lines of alcohol, because alcohol can be dangerous in that way.
Yeah, especially coming to a city like this where, I mean, good luck finding an activity for us to go do that doesn't involve alcohol.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that all three of us, I feel safe saying this, have had to tell someone that you like, that you think is a good person, it's time for you to go home.
Yeah, I've been told that before. And the maturity.
Some of it was him telling me that.
Some of it was you telling me.
I think the thing, though, is that, like, okay, if that happens, we all have to be mature enough to go home and be like,
I haven't always been that mature.
Thank you. And I haven't either. But, that's just maturing. On a day-to-day basis, I always have to make sure that I'm being temperate and that I don't drink more than I should. Yeah. Because the opportunity is always there. Part of it, what my job is. I'm a brand steward for a whiskey company. So it has to be intentional. Otherwise, it can easily go the other way.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, it's been really fun to know you and then watch this journey that you've been on. You're working for Uncle Nearest, Black-owned distillery. The story of who Uncle Nearest is seems something that you're passionate about. Yes. You're taking it to HBCUs, where I saw you at homecoming. Tell us about, like, working for that company and what that's done for, like, igniting, like, a passion of, like, who you're working for and what really you're representing.
Okay, so Uncle Nearest is based on the legacy of Nearest Green. He's the first African American master distiller on record. He was the best whiskey maker around in Lynchburg, and he's the guy that taught Jack how to make whiskey. So everybody knows about Jack. Mm-hmm. The story's always been he ran away from home at 6 years old and, bought a still from Dan Call. Nobody ever asked, how did he learn how to do this? Mm-hmm. But basically, he met up with Nearest, who was already producing whiskey, and Nearest took him under his wing. They became friends and partners, and it's honestly a beautiful story that has led to what we have today, which is obviously the success of Jack Daniels and also the success of Uncle Nearest whiskey. Some of his family still works for Jack to this day.
Really?
And his great-great-granddaughter, Victoria Edie Butler, is our master blender today. So, shit.
That's just water. Honestly, could probably use it.
Yeah, so the historical connections are still there. It's I'm super proud to work for them.
I've been hearing about Uncle Nearest my entire life.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a new story. That's the thing that I think that's, like, the biggest thing about it is that it's something that needed to be shared again.
Well, the whole culture has always really intrigued me. I have family that came from Chicago that was somewhat involved in bootlegging, and then my grandfather was a stock car racer, which was built on running whiskey, and so me spending my whole life here in Tennessee, hearing those tales from the old guys when I was a kid, sitting around the barbershop or this or that about the best in each region that made their whiskey, and then hearing the tales from the guys that were like, when I was a kid, you would go hunting and you'd be 20 miles into the mountains or the hills, and there's a still there that's been there for 50 years that's abandoned, and to even get it in there and get the liquor out and this and that. So that always interested me. And then hearing about Uncle Nearest and then Jack and the whole story, and
Yeah. So for me, like being a bartender and then becoming someone who loved whiskey and like actually having a true passion for it, to then end up moving here and then continue to work in the bar, continue to do the outside education that I like to do, like traveling to the distilleries and bartender conferences and things like that, to end up working for a whiskey company, and then it being Uncle Nearest, especially as a black man, it's like, I don't know. It's
feels
not
meant
anything
to be.
that is, it's like something that somebody would have wrote.
Well, if you need to hear it, like whatever you feel in your heart, that comes through when I've watched you navigate, being that I've seen you at different chapters, different employers. It seems different here, and I want to put you on the spot, but I have to ask, can we talk about what's going on? Are we at risk of losing Uncle Nearest as a brand?
I mean, honestly, from my position with the company, it's not really one where I would have the information for what I know. I'm doing my job the same way I've been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, maybe not quite the same, because I'm trying to get better at it every day. But I feel like our brand is strong. It sells well. People enjoy it. We already discussed the history, which will never change. Our juice is amazing. We have a 4-time Master Blender of the Year in Victoria Edie Butler. We have the most awarded whiskey or bourbon of the last 7 years. So I feel pretty comfortable.
That's good. Well, I hope it stays around. And with your work, what is it like having to literally manage, but also be behind a 518-foot bar?
Ooh. Okay, so yeah, we opened up Humble Baron in March of 2023, the world's longest bar. It was a cool opportunity. Honestly, whenever they reached out, it really wasn't a question of whether I was going to do it or not. Honestly, I knew that it was a historic thing. It's in the Guinness Book of World Records, and it has 202 seats at the bar. There's 17 wells, so that means 17 drink making stations. So that means up to 17 bartenders can be working at the same time.
Man.
And it was really cool. We opened it with Death & Co. So they have a consulting branch called Gin and Luck. And so they sent some of their experts down here to help us really put it together. But it was one of those things that nobody's ever done. So even no expert can be an expert at that, because nobody's done it before.
What year did y'all open?
2023.
And now they have close company.
They have close company, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, close company is great, but it's not the world's longest bar.
Oh, no, not at all.
So a typical cocktail bar's design is going to be smaller. That's just the nature of a cocktail bar.
Yeah.
Because it's, craft. It's not built for 500 people to be in there at once. But
that's so crazy.
I learned so much just from trial.
How many
and
bar
error,
backs? I'm thinking about him stocking the bar.
DeAndre, so we flew in a mixologist to be our beverage director, and that was DeAndre Jackson from out in LA at the time. And so I was able to work with him. I was working with Speedy, who was our local guy for Uncle Nearest at the time. And he's the one that actually brought me on. And then I was like, I met Keith Weaver and Fawn Weaver, and it was so cool, honestly. But it was very difficult just because we're operating this massive cocktail bar in Shelbyville, Tennessee.
Wild.
But so I don't know. I think that was kind of the beauty of it, though, was that it was so difficult, but we did it.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't imagine bar backing that.
Yeah.
Trying not to be in someone's way.
Stocking bottles,
It's tough. And we're making juice. We're like fresh squeezing juice. We're making all these different syrups down the hall. And, we need somebody to come run it to us. We're serving these massive parties. Our grand opening it's so crazy. We had a line that was just going out to the highway. And like literally to the highway. And just imagine getting 1,000 people in front of you at once. No matter how big it is, it's like it's still 1,000 people at one time.
You're a rock star at that point.
And I mean, you just have to.
I mean, there's musicians that have never seen that crowd.
Right.
That's
But
crazy.
it was dope. I mean, honestly, there was just so many highs there. We had Post Malone and Eddie Vedder come through the World Treaty.
God.
The same night or like.
No, just over.
I was just like,
what a combo!
What a combo! On our first anniversary, that was just a special event. That was for Ebro. It was for a child's sickness. It was a fundraiser, and so they came out for that. But for our anniversary, we had bartenders from across the world come in and work with us. Like literally, some of the best bartenders in the world came and worked with us. We had who are them rappers that came? I can't even think.
We know Bug didn't come.
Bug didn't show up. So all right. So you're also working for Anzi Blue. My first question for you, because I don't mind telling on myself.
Nappy Roots.
I was just texting them the other day.
Yeah.
Cut that out. Yeah. No, I can prove it. But at the Big X after party.
Yeah.
Was I supposed to be taking some of that soap?
That big ass brick of
soap? Was I supposed to take that home with me?
Man, if you didn't take it, you ain't take it.
He stole
Everything
the soap.
was up for grabs.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that was from Duke Cannon. So Duke Cannon was our sponsor. They make all kinds of great products, scented.
It
lotions.
Is a big ass brick of soap.
It is a big ass brick of soap, and so
I took some. I thought it was like for us, but
when he pulled it out at the car. I was like, "We don't cut that in half." Jeez, that's a loaf.
Shopping bricks in the car.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about what you're doing with Anzi Blue, because it seems like every time I see you with that AB behind you, you got someone even more famous right beside you.
Honestly, they've asked me to help them with different parts of the operation, and
you look good in that suit.
Thank you. Honestly, I've been honored to be asked that from them, and it's something that changes every day. I'm just helping out where using my skills really from hospitality to just fit in and make sure that everything goes right.
Now, were they already established that way, or how much input did you have in changing that? Because when you told me to come to Anzi Blue for Big X, I was like, the coffee shop? Like, I didn't even know it was an event venue like that anymore.
So what happened was whenever I started working at Humble Baron, they reached out to me. One of my really good friends, Delia from Eater, had reached out to help them do a photo shoot. And so, I'm thinking I'm coming there to stage some cocktails and, that's it. but it essentially changed into something else. It was like, I don't know. It was like Pandora's box just got opened, and in a good way.
Yeah.
And so I was just, I saw it as, I can feel their energy. They're really great people. And I just wanted to stay attached to them, and they wanted to stay attached to me. So essentially I was like, I can't do this. I'm opening the world's longest bar. And they're like, yeah. So we'll see you tomorrow. I was like, no. But I mean, they got their way, and I got my way, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would like to change the way that sounds.
But
I mean, I saw the other night. I saw you in action, and like I was impressed. I mean, and not that I hadn't been impressed before, but it's funny. Earlier when you said, talking about that first real cocktail bar in Huntsville, and you talked about your first shift, it's like you're like, I can handle the bar, and then they come in and ate you up, and you're like, but you realize like the notes you took then of like the menu's sticky or this or that.
self-assessment.
What I said when we left the other night is the details you were watching.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. So I think that really is the answer to the anti-blue question. I've worked in all kinds of bars and restaurants. I think the great thing about it is like it was always like a progression. So like you mentioned me working for Chef Sean Brock. When I worked for Chef Sean Brock, I also worked for my beverage director, John Howard. They're both like geniuses at what they do. And they taught me a different level of order and like precision and standards to where they can't be broken. Like it's just habit. So I see things in different ways than other people, and I've had to realize that because I can be like hyper focused on certain things that other people just don't see. Like if you put a glass where it's not supposed to go, I see it, and it's like burning me.
Oh yeah,
the entire like every second, and while it's there until it's moved where it's supposed to be.
I think if I'm hearing you correctly, that like, because the reason I'm asking this is because I'm dealing with this with the way this podcast is going and other aspects of my life. But like, you thought you were coming in because you are who you are behind a bar.
Right.
And it seems like now, after, being at arm's distance from you for a long time and watching your evolution, you're now being respected and valued for more than mixing drinks.
Yeah, I think.
Is there like an imposter syndrome that's coming with that, with like what you're bringing to the table? I mean, at this point, your name adds value to anything.
Thank you. That means a lot. But yeah, truly, I had to just figure it out. Like, what is the reason why I'm involved? And truly, I'm like a very thoughtful person when it comes to my actions, my behaviors. How there's a word for it. It starts with an in something. But
intentional.
I think I'm definitely intentional.
Yeah.
But I think internally often. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, when I do something cool, when I do something bad, when I do something, questionable, I'm always in my head about, why did I do that? Why did that happen? And so, like, why am I in this room? I was videotaping Shabuzi this week from like 7 feet away while he's presenting the CMA award. And I'm like, why am I standing here doing this? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I say that a lot to myself.
I don't know. I'm like, there's a reason why they have me here.
Yeah, there is.
They know
don't lose that.
Yeah, and I just have to know that I have to own that. So I'm here because...
But it's hard.
I'm trusted. Why am I trusted? Because I'm honest. Because I'm hardworking. I'm dependable. And so I have to like reinforce that in myself and make sure that I uphold that. And they know I'm not going to mess things up.
I think also, if you're searching for things, and sometimes it's easier for someone else to see that about us than our ability to look inward and evaluate ourselves. But it seems the common theme is that you have a like totalitarian like viewpoint. Like for you, it seems like it's always been about the entire machine and while also understanding each cog that makes the machine run.
Right.
Not just like, okay, I'm putting my head down and I want to be the best bartender. You're seeing.
It goes back to what his brother said. And like your parents, you said, even though they were nurses, they were still continuing to educate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You're still doing that to be a doctor.
Because you're not, I can tell you're not satisfied. You're like, I'm here, but like, what more can I learn? Where can I go? And
right.
There's a lot of people that their whole goal would be where you're at and be like, finished learning, I'm where I need to be. And you're not satisfied. I can tell.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I'm definitely not satisfied. I'm just figuring out why I'm even in the room. And I don't want that to sound bad, but it's being real. Like I'm figuring out myself at this time. And, I'm happy for that because I'm like, I'm here for a reason. They know that things are going to be better because I'm here. And so when people ask me what I do at Anzi Blue, it's like I do everything.
Right. I am Ansley Blue.
Nah.
If you don't know, now you know.
But I don't know. That's just the way I live.
Man, it's been fun watching you live.
Thanks.
What would you say in your whole service industry has been the wildest thing you've seen?
The wildest thing I've seen? Somebody shit in Skulls outside of the bathroom.
In Skulls Rainbow Room?
Yeah. Yes. Like in the walkway.
There's a reason they call it.
Walkway. Not even in
this place is so busy that there's no way that you could have time to do that. But somebody achieved that one day.
Somebody shook it out the leg of their pants.
That's the craziest thing that I've seen.
Oh my God!
I've also been in other situations. I'm sorry.
No, that's hilarious.
Where like guns have been pulled out and things like that.
Yeah,
where it was like a crazy regular that we had to take care of, but he was also a psychopath.
Man,
because we saw all kinds of things on Broadway that people wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
So anytime you're in the service industry this long,
some crazy stuff happens.
Yeah.
But so many beautiful
that.
Things happen. I've seen, people get engaged. I've seen people have some of their best moments. The things like, I've celebrated with so many people on their special occasions. And I love that because, I was there.
I'm glad you said that.
As the host.
Because, I said earlier, like, you can get burnt out in certain aspects of something. I'm so glad you said that because it's been a long time since I thought about it. But, like, worked a few day shifts back in the day. And, like, you might have somebody come in that, like, it's like me and my wife got married at the courthouse.
Yeah.
And we walked down here. And she's gone, but I still come here every Valentine's or every, you know what I mean? And, like, I forget about those. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
That's something I need to think about more.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal being there for people all the time. And there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into that. Mm-hmm. Nights, weekends. Mm-hmm. I think about it sometimes, and especially now, because I've kind of gotten out of having to do it every night and every weekend like I did I started in 2003. It's 2025. So just imagine.
Yeah.
I never had that free time off where everybody else is off.
Just your hospitality career is old enough to drink.
Yeah. And there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into it. So
the night schedule alone.
Yeah,
exactly.
You become, I found myself grocery shopping, at like 6 a.m, and I haven't been to sleep, and everybody else has, and you're like kind of zombieing through,
So be nice to your servers and bartenders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that is something, man, everybody should learn. I think everybody should have to be in the service industry
at least one shift. Every single person.
Well, not even a shift. You should have to spend a good couple of months in there because people that don't tip. people that are rude to their servers or bartender, first of all, you must have lost your mind. They're making your food, they're making your drinks. So
yeah, we literally had a conversation.
But I mean,
never mind.
Everybody's seen it. The people, everybody's been out with somebody that didn't want to tip. Yeah. Or you get your drinks comped and they're like, that means we just leave with no money. And it's like, no, we pay we tip 100%.
Yeah.
You know, we should teach a course on that.
Yeah, people don't get it because it's optional, so-called, but it's like, it's the cultural standard.
It's hard being in Nashville because people from different cultures visit here. Right. Sometimes they're coming from cultures where you don't tip.
Yeah, that's true. But I think,
but if you visit someone's culture, you should want to do what their culture.
Knows.
If I'm going to Hawaii, I'm going to go order a bunch of Hawaiian shirts.
But that's one of the things that pops up on my feed all the time. It's probably the algorithm, knowing that I read that stuff.
Yeah.
But people debating on whether or not they should tip. The employer should just pay them a better wage, and you can debate that all you want, but they're like, all right, just pay them this better wage and factor it into the cost. It's like, well, either way, you're going to pay for it. So just leave a tip.
Yeah.
Because if the employer pays more, they charge more for the food.
People
and for
don't
the
understand
drinks.
that when they say that, it sounds good, but that's changing an entire industry and flipping it on its head.
Exactly. And it's like, it's not anybody's fault that it's already designed this way and it's already this way.
I never like splitting tips.
Sharing tips?
Yeah, because Brian could be a lazy ass.
That's true.
And it never encouraged him to be a better server.
I think that goes on leadership, though. Because I think in my experience, the best money I've ever made has been in tip pools.
Really?
Yeah, but everybody was held to the standard. And if you were slacking, you get called out immediately. Yeah. And if you continue to slack, you get your little bit of grace period until you got to go.
I like that.
That's it. So I feel like behind the bar, especially, it's always great to be aligned as a team. Some places you can't do it. Like I know on Broadway, the big bars where there's like several bars, you can't necessarily want to pool with the entire place. That's a lot to get into. But I mean, if I'm behind the bar with somebody, I don't want to feel like I'm competing with them.
Yeah, when I was on Broadway, it felt like very much if you outworked everybody and the bartenders would ask for you, you had job security.
Yeah.
That was it. So it was a competition.
Effort. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Effort was job security. And that's not always the same in everywhere, but I'm glad I went through something like that. I'm guessing
we were in the era of you might fight 15 times a night.
Oh, so with your coworkers?
No. Patrons.
Yeah, we were down there like 08, 9, 10, 11 through there.
Patrons would swing on you for no reason.
No cameras, no social media, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm assuming that your palate, it was. Your palate's evolved over the years.
Yeah.
What cocktail-wise, beverage-wise, what are you into right now?
Right now, I think I'm in my, middle-aged, 41.
Ish.
So
I hope not.
Yeah, 40's the new 20.
But I kind of established my taste now. I've always liked a big range of things, but like things that I really like, straight whiskey. So whiskey neat. Don't really drink whiskey on the rocks. Whiskey cocktails, I'll drink an old fashioned, I'll drink a Manhattan, I'll drink classics are like kind of my jam. Gin and tonic. IPA, and that's like that's what I really like.
That's where you're comfortable.
And then bubbles, of course.
Bubbles, yeah.
Champagne all day.
I almost can't do a lot of bubbles anymore.
Yeah. I don't drink a lot of wine at all, but I do enjoy some bubbles. And like if I was gonna have some seafood, some oysters or something like that,
yeah,
I like that
for sure.
But yeah.
So what about cooking? Do you cook?
Cooking, yeah. I love cooking. I think that's what started everything.
Really?
So, yeah, cooking is just, it's combining flavors and just like mixology. So it's just in liquid form. But I would always want to make certain things that my mom didn't make that I wanted to eat. And so I think that's where my creativity came from and just making recipes from as a child. So like my mom's from Panama, so she made Panamanian style food, so we ate a lot of rice.
The
country.
That's for the audience, not me. Trust me.
PCB.
Yeah. So we ate a lot of rice and beans and platanos and,
I'm an idiot.
Chicken sometimes vegetarian.
And your dad's from where?
Nigeria. Yeah.
Man.
And honestly, a lot of the food overlaps.
Yeah.
But I would want to eat buffalo wings or something like that, and burgers. And it started out like a kid. I wanted to eat that type of stuff, but I would have to make it myself if I wanted to eat that, and or like Italian style food, pastas and.
I feel that though. Yeah. I had food allergies, so it was one of those where my grandmother was like, "No woman's ever going to cook for you. You better learn it now, and I can cook."
You can.
I love that.
So
it's fun.
What's really next for Akinde and Anzi Blue, Uncle? Well, we know Uncle Nearest. They gotta figure that out. But like, what's next? So you got some diesel drink stuff going on. What's a USBG got going on?
So the Bartenders Guild, our Nashville chapter, is evolving and growing, and I'm super proud of Christopher Mellon, who's our current president, and he's been doing a lot to just keep it more active, and basically with a focus on our community and mental health, and I think that's important.
Very important.
He's a good dude too.
Yeah, great dude. So I'm excited about that part, the Bartenders Guild. My personal role is probably going to step back a little bit just because I'm so busy, but I'm always going to be there as as someone to call. So we have a board of directors, and that's where my role is looking like it's going to go towards. As far as Anzi Blue, I'm just going to continue being present when I can, and just doing whatever it is to make things better. Like, that's literally why I'm there. It's just to make things better. And with Uncle Nearest, the same. Yeah. Keep putting forth the efforts, keep telling the story, keep sharing the whiskey. And
it's good whiskey.
Yeah, as far as what comes after that, I think there's not really a plan of after that, because after that would mean that I was kind of trying to get away from any of that, and I'm not really trying to get away from any of that. I'm more trying to just keep growing in those areas.
Hell yeah! You got any? Are you still doing any private events?
Big stars and
call me.
Having good times and. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know. It's kind of just something I'm enjoying and trying to appreciate while it's happening.
I think being present is a big part of it. Just showing up. That's what we've been talking about a lot lately. Like, that's half the battle there.
I mean, I honestly feel like Belcourt and Nashville and Tennessee is lucky to have you. Honestly.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Seriously.
Honestly, it's always good to get encouragement from people.
That event was dope.
Respect. A lot of people told me that, and honestly, I didn't have the time while I was there. Like you said, you see me running back and forth. I didn't really realize that would have been something that you would see.
Well,
but you did.
I watch, and honestly, I'll tell you what I saw. First of all, I saw a great setup, a greatly executed event, but what I saw more than anything is not in any certain order, not front to back, not side to side, separately, randomly. I saw you make sure every person in the house was okay, was good. Talk to every single person there, make sure they were good, and do it seamlessly. From the DJ to how Big X was there and wasn't nobody was able to mob him, and you know what I mean? And
I got my boy 2 Live Breeder play too.
Hey, and first of all, that's our boy too. And now that we're cool with Juvie, we can talk about it. But But yeah, like first of all, that was great too because an artist from the city, and
it felt like there was an
DJ,
intentional effort of being like, Big X, you are gracing us with your presence. Here's some of the best of what we have to offer.
Yeah, that was kind of the motivation in my head. Was like, all right, he's coming off performing at the Ryman.
Mm-hmm.
Now let him enjoy something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
so I don't know, it just came together.
The Ryman show was great.
Yeah,
he killed it. I'll tell you, I've been on a million shows at the Ryman. It'll be on one of my top favorites.
Yeah.
No matter what anybody thinks about it. Like it was
a good show.
Freaking great show. Seeing him with a live band and killing it. But man, just the whole vibe. Shout out to East Nashville Yacht Club.
He was up in there. Yeah.
Yellow Wolf and his security, Petey Pablo, were there. You know.
Let the band play. He was there too.
Yeah. But legends in the room.
It really does seem like you're really just getting started and taking different pieces and putting it all together. And it's been really awesome, like watching that happen for you. So I definitely want to stay on your recent calls list.
Yeah, absolutely.
I also would like to continue to attach myself with you and what you're doing because it seems everything you're doing is going up and to the right, and I want to.
Yeah.
Well, it's still.
We were talking the other day. I'm not afraid to grab a saddle and ride some coattails,
Thanks.
man. If I can
same.
be
I'm
around
also
you.
trying to like hype up everybody that deserves it. You know, I've been really trying to get tapped in with the up and coming artists. One that's standing out right now, I just got to say his name, Goody Unlimited. He just hit 1 million views recently, and his music's fire. Check him out. I'm gonna just stop there.
Yeah, shout out Goody Unlimited.
I feel like steel sharpens steel, and like it makes us better to be around somebody that makes himself better, and you know what I mean.
The accountability of being around people who can self-evaluate, I think, is crucial.
And when you've been in the service industry, when you've been in the bar industry for a long time, I love seeing good people win. You see a lot of shady, you see a lot of bad business, a lot of things, and so it's so good to see somebody that you can tell is genuine, somebody that you can tell believes in what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like that's always a good thing. I like seeing my people win. And man, you're doing a great job right now. You're killing it.
I appreciate you taking the time on a Friday night.
Honored to have you on the green couch.
Hey, I'm honored to be here.
Yeah,
and
I need one of them hats, by the way.
Yeah, which one I got on?
Yeah, Uncle that shirt's dope too.
All right, we make it work.
Yeah, for sure.
Can we get some Gator Cam on Blake's shoes, by the way, Ezra?
No, we're good. We're good.
Got them boots on the ground.
Yeah, literally.
Well, we like most of our episodes. I love it. We could do 2 or 3 episodes with this guy. Akinde is an amazing person. If you liked what you saw today as much as I did, hit that like, share, and subscribe. Follow us. We appreciate every single one.
And don't forget, we're about to start. By the time this is coming out, we're going to be coming out with some more information on it. We have a Bourbon Plus event in Germantown on December 13th. Stay tuned for more information on that. Might get a code, might get a discount. Hope I see you there. And for the love of Nashville, tune into the next one.
Yeah.
All right.